Was it the Grammy ceremony where Pink first attempted this, or was that what was that in 2011 or whatever? That she's like, all right, I'm gonna do this, or was that always a part of her show?
It's a good question. I feel like I'd have to look at like kind of the progression of her tours, but it's something that was sort of like ramping up over time. But
Hmm.
yeah, the one performance that you're thinking of is when yeah, she basically did this like she had these like, and this was actually different than like, so because she has like variations on sort of the ribbon dancing that she does. And so this one was wild. This was at the 2010 Grammys. And she basically had these like ribbons that like she like wrapped around her and they were on her ankles, and like she was basically up in the air and spinning around, and there was water involved, and like it was unbelievable. It was absolutely unbelievable. It was beautiful and it was graceful, but it was definitely just you're just like, what, how can she do that? And so and I think that was one of the performances that was sort of a pivot point in her career too, because it was so high profile and people were like, wow, this is next level in terms of pop stardom. But on the other hand, she's setting the bar for herself so very high that it's like at a certain point you have to sort of say, okay, I can't do this anymore, as we were kind of talking about, or I'm not going to do this all the time, just because you just simply can't. It's just, and because it's so potentially dangerous or physical and things like that.
You think this is her last? She's doing stadium tours. Is
Yeah.
this, you think like this is going to be the last big show for Pink, where she's up, doing acrobatics, doing her her Pink thing?
I don't know, because I think, with her like tours, I mean, she could do something now where she could decide, I'm going to do something in one place. Maybe I'm just going to set up, and I think a lot of artists are doing that, like Harry Styles did. I'm just going to set up in one place and do something. And so that's a little bit easier on you. She could do something where she's like, I'm going to do maybe a stripped down tour. So, and or maybe I think she could, even if she wasn't doing all of these really, really physical things, I think she could still play stadiums or in arenas, especially because I think just her songs are so strong. She has such a strong catalog. And I think she'd be able to present a show that, wasn't necessarily that over the top, that, she could do something that was still really impressive, but not necessarily as hard on her body.
Yeah. Hopefully she will continue to perform after she's not able to do or gives up doing this. It's
Totally.
You got to wonder the conversation, because her husband is also a daredevil. If they ever have a conversation about safety.
Yeah.
Well, because he was in some wicked accidents when he was younger. And so I'm sure that they have all, they have kids now. So it's like, okay, let's figure out, what are we willing to risk? What are we willing to not risk? And so, yeah, absolutely.
I'll do the stunts this year.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can do them next year, because we can't risk something happening to us at the same time.
Exactly. It's true.